Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. As most of you may know, my name is Jason. This is
Samantha.
and we're real happy to share this partner workshop with you. We've been doing this for what, 3-4 years now, maybe. Not just on Valentine's Day. We take this workshop to festivals all over Western Canada. I think we've done about 4 of them now, as well as do workshops, with regards to more or less partner exercises that you can do with your friends, your family members, or your significant others. Few things to know. Do everything at your own discretion, okay? Communication is everything, like in most interactions with people, so, or relationships with people. So talk, trust. If you're not feeling something a certain way, talk to your partner, let them know that, and we'll give adjustments or modifications for most things as well too. Okay, so do everything at your own discretion, have fun, and let's get started. So we'll start by just facing each other. And you can sit cross-legged, you can sit however you choose. And you're just going to sit kind of in between each other a little bit. It doesn't have to be that close, it doesn't have to be that far. And lock eyes for a moment. Smile, make a funny face, whatever you choose. We'll just get the awkwardness out of the way to start. And then start to gently close your eyes. Let your shoulders relax. Your hands can be wherever you choose. Let your knees fall to the side. And we're just going to take a moment to just sit in silence with one another. And we don't do that much as a society, as even a population. Some cultures, I think, do a little more than we do, but it's not often that we just sit in the presence of another human being and stay completely silent. The beauty of it is it's the natural, it's the real holding space for someone or for each other. There's no advice, there's no talking, there's no having that interaction. It's just sitting. Stillness, quietness. And there's also can be a sense of security, knowing that you're in the presence of another, that you're able to still connect without even talking, without even looking at each other. Just being in a space of another person's energy. So I'll ask you to just take a few moments and focus on your own breath. And you might even hear the breath of the other person. But start to cultivate that awareness inside yourself. So again, you can notice how you're feeling. You can notice if you're feeling like you're holding on anywhere. Maybe you can notice the energy or the presence of the person across from you. I want you to start to cultivate a little bit of gratitude. And that can be anything at all. Something that you like, something that you enjoy. And then maybe you start to think about something that you enjoy of the other person across from. It can be anything at all, even just the slightest thing. But again, we're not talking. This is just manifesting that inside yourself. You're still able to share that through silence. And then I want you to think about something that you love about yourself. Because we can only share what we already have for ourselves. They say you can't fill from an empty cup. But you can't truly love or give love unless you're able to give it to yourself or able to receive it. So again, just take a few moments. There's also some things that happen in our brains when we think about things that we love, whether it's about somebody else or about ourselves, or whether we feel that love from somebody. And one of the chemicals, they call it the love hormone, and it's called oxytocin. And those things, that starts to release through things such as someone doing something kind to you, or feeling accepted into a circle, sharing a hug, or even a handshake. So when you're ready, you can open up your eyes. You give a little smile. Again, it's releasing those chemicals. And depending on where you're at with your partner here today, you can either give a high five, handshake. It's so awkward. Or go in for a little bit of a hug consensually. Good. And let's get started. Oh yes, let's take our legs apart, please, to start. Now, this will determine on who has maybe the more open hips. So Samantha's hips are way open than mine. So I'm not going to be able to quite get my feet all the way out to hers, okay? If you're able to, that is great. If not, you can also place the feet on the inside edge of the other person's legs, okay? So you can determine where you're at with that. And then we're just going to grab onto each other's hands. You want to grab onto each other's wrists, you can too, if you're a little bit closer in towards each other. So you're going to use your person to just sit up nice and tall, all right? So you're just going to, erect the spine, reach through the crown of the head, don't let the shoulders come up towards the ears, let them rest and soften down the spine. And you just kind of pull into the other person a little bit, into the other individual. Breathe here. And then I'm going to start going back. So depending on where you're at in the mat, you can kind of choose. I'm just going to start to lean back a little bit. And I'm going to slowly bring Samantha forward. Now, don't go too much to start. We can increase this as we go. And then she's going to go back as well, and I'm going to pull forward a little bit. When you're moving back, though, don't just round through the spine. Try to keep your chest coming up, okay? We want to keep that spine nice and long, or as straight as we can. And the person that's coming forward, again, try not to round through the spine, but rather, almost like you're tilting at the pelvis, like the tail going up behind. We don't have to go a lot to start. Good. And start to come up. And then we'll go back the other way again. And really, we're just going to move back and forth through this motion. So we're just going to kind of, almost like you're rocking one way and then the other. and talk. If you want to get lean, if you want a little bit more, draw forward, just say, you can lean back a little more. Or if it's too much, you can tell your partner to come out a little bit. Remember, communication is everything. Come all the way back up. We'll just go back and forth just a couple more times, please. Good. All right, we'll come all the way back up through that center position whenever you're ready. You're gonna reach out and grab onto each other's right wrist, please, okay? And then from there, you'll start to take your chest. You can take your left hand out behind you and just start to rotate the shoulders towards the side of the mat. And again, you're gonna lean into each other, all right? And if you want, you can take your gaze over your left shoulder. We want to keep the spine as long as you can here again. So lift through the crown of the head so you can use your partner to kind of lean back. And you also use them to almost kind of get that stretch more in the upper part of the spine. As you pull, you may be able to twist it a little more. You also have the option to lift up your left arm. Our left arm. Grab onto our left wrist. And you take that right arm behind you to start. Lift, reach through the crown of the head, rotate through the shoulders. If you want to take your gaze over your right shoulder, you can as well. Hand if you choose. Good. We'll start to release that. You'll grab onto both of each other's hands again, or the wrist. And we're gonna do that same kind of thing we did last time. I'm gonna lean back, Samantha's gonna come forward. This time we're gonna make our way over towards the side, so kind of towards our right and left foot. And you're gonna make like little circles here. So she'll lean back, I'll hold her up. We'll come around and see if you can keep your arms as straight as you can. Again, communicate. We're just gonna make nice little circles here. Slowly moving. We'll go one way and then we'll unwind that energy going the other. Wonderful. All the way around. Good. And then coming back through center. We got a couple more in this position. You'll grab onto each other's right wrists again. This time you'll just lift your left hand up towards the ceiling. So it's not a twist. You're gonna get more of a side bend through this. So with my left hand, I'm gonna bring it down towards my right foot, or maybe I even wanna reach it towards Samantha's right foot. If you can reach all the way down, maybe you grab a hold of your foot or the other person's foot. But from here, I want you to almost pull into each other a little bit so you can open your chest up towards the ceiling. If it's okay in your neck, you can take your gaze through the left tricep area. And breathe here. Big deep breaths in and out. Slow your eyes. and then we'll switch. So grab onto the left wrist and kind of pull a little bit, lean into each other a little bit. Lift that right arm up. And it's not a twist. It's more so just taking that hand down towards the feet, because there's two of them. You can almost pull into each other or use each other to rotate that chest up. We'll open it up towards the ceiling. Deep breaths in and out. When you're ready, you can begin to rise. Take the hand down. You can give yourself a little shake if you choose. And we're going to start to bring our legs in towards each other now, okay? So bring the knees so they're inside the arms, and you're going to grab onto each other's hands. If this is inaccessible, please feel free to use, I don't know if you have a strap around, a towel, a blanket, anything like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to bring your feet together, okay? So feet together, knees are on the inside edge of the arms, and start to lift that right leg up towards the ceiling, okay? So you're going to push into each other's foot and try to straighten that leg as much as you can. Now, my spine's beginning to round here, okay? And I don't want that, so I'm going to pull into her to try to lift our chest up towards the ceiling. I want you to imagine trying to get your spine straight. I'm trying to lift the collarbones up towards the ceiling. It's okay if the knees bent. Don't forget to breathe. We'll hang on just a few more moments. And then we'll allow ourselves to come all the way down. Beautiful. Maybe you got to release your hands and wipe them off a little bit, because it's one thing to have you have sweaty hands. It's another thing to have somebody else's sweaty hands to make them that much more sweaty. No timing here, we're heating up. Okay, when you're ready, let's straighten our left leg this time, please. There we go. One side's always tighter than the other. It is a Sunday morning, so be kind to yourselves. But again, we're going to lift our collarbones up towards the ceiling, please. Excellent. When you're ready, you can lower it all the way back down. You might have set up your tripods or your cameras at home to take some pictures, because this is the one that you can use for a Christmas card, okay? Lift up the right foot and then the left foot. You got to push into each other, work together, sweaty hands or not. Lift your chests up. We've done this in a long time, so you know. All right, come back down. Same idea. This time you're going to keep the knees on the outside edge of the arms, okay? And excuse me, one at a time. So start with your right or your left foot and start to lift it up. And you're going to take it out to the side a little bit. So this is kind of like when we were down on the floor. This is a good prep position for that. And then push it and lift up the left one. There it is. Whew, good job. See, you feel pretty solid, feel pretty good. Grab onto each other's right hand, your right wrist. Just like we did on the floor, reach through the crown of the head and then rotate the chest. Left hand can now be behind you or lift it up. It's completely up to you. Good, bring it back in. See if you can hold it, see if you can hold it. Other side, grab onto the left wrist. Open the chest. Whew. Come back in, and there's no really beautiful way to come out of this, so just come all the way down the best way that you can. Whew, excellent. All right, this time we're just going to turn around, and we're going to sit back to each other for a moment. And you can sit cross-legged here, please. Again, just kind of roll over. You good? Good. All right. Check back in. All right. Again, communication, everything. So you'll sit back towards each other for a moment. Hands can be wherever you choose. And just see if you can notice. We'll come back to that presence, to that awareness, to that acknowledgement of the other person. Talking, questioning, just beginning to breathe with each other. And you can even feel and notice the other person's breath pushing into you as they inhale. And maybe you feel a sense of release with them as they exhale. Maybe your breaths begin to sink. It's okay if they don't. We'll just take a moment for that. Again, that acknowledgement, that presence, that awareness. And then you kind of move your spine. So you know like how a snake moves? Lean over towards the left a little bit, towards each other. And then kind of shift yourselves over towards the right. You can almost just feel the other person moving. Again, it doesn't have to sync up. And you kind of come back through center. You never practice that one. I just threw that one in here just right now, just because it felt good. So some of this is reversed. A lot of this is just, just going with the flow and seeing how we feel. Okay, so this one, we're going to bring ourselves into a nice little twist here, all right? So all you'll do is you'll take your right hand onto your left hand. And then with your left hand, you'll reach it back and grab onto your partner's right knee. And all you'll do is you'll twist towards the left knee or towards your partner's right knee. Now, what's nice about this is you can correct each other's posture or make sure that your spines are almost long with each other, as when the shoulders start to pull away, then it means you're starting to round through the upper part, and like the thoracic spine area. This is where we like to start to slouch at first. Deep breaths in and out. Again, you can feel the breath of the other. And it's not a competition. Who can breathe in more, who can exhale more. It's about awareness, it's about acknowledgement, presence. Bring yourselves, or you can release that. We'll take ourselves over to the opposite direction, all right? Take a moment in between if you need to, just to kind of readjust or just to check in, do a little body scan. Left hand onto the right knee, right hand onto the left knee of your partner. One side's always different than the other, so you feel like you have to go any deeper, any more than you did on the other side. Good. You can start to release that. And then this time, we're going to start to straighten our legs. So depending on how tight your hamstrings are, I don't like to say tight hamstrings, however long the other person's hamstrings are or yours, is going to determine how much how much you go into this. Okay, have your knees bent. That's completely okay. All right. And all we're going to do is we're just going to go back and forth. So Samantha's going to go forward into a forward fold, and I'm just going to go with her. Okay. So I'm going to lean back and rest my body weight onto hers. And that's going to help increase her stretch just a little bit more. It also can create a nice little back bend for me as well. If I want to throw my head back, my arms can be wherever I choose. Check in. You good, Samantha? Good. And this doesn't have to be a long hold, but you're going to know when your partner's done because they're going to start to push you back up, okay? And then you're going to hold their weights against you, and you're going to use their body weight to bring yourself forward. And you can decide whoever's going to be going first. We'll start to come back up. So I'm going to walk my hands in. I'm going to lift Samantha. She's going to stay heavy onto me. And then we're going to rock back and forth through this motion too, okay? So if you want to do it for the length of the breath, you can. So deep breath in. And Samantha exhale. She'll come forward. Use my body weight. Help encourage it. And then she'll lift up. And I'll go down. Now this one's nice if you can match each other's breath. So on the inhale, I'll push up. Samantha will inhale. And then as I exhale, she is releasing as well. This is where the power of the breath can come. I don't want to say in handy, but can be powerful with giving that sense of security for another. If they're still breathing, you're still breathing. Both stop breathing. I don't know what to say. Checking in the chat. Good. And you can come back up when you're ready. Take a moment again, just to breathe, just to acknowledge, hold that space. All right, we're going to bring ourselves up to standing, okay? So when you're ready, come all the way up to standing. And you're going to face each other again. Lock eyes, smile, high five, handshake if you want to be awkward about it. But lift your arms up towards the ceiling. You're going to grab onto each other's palms like that. Now you're just going to walk your feet back a little bit. And you're not going to bend forward. You're going to push your chest in towards each other. Heels can stay on the floor. And you can have a little bend in your knees here. That's okay. You're just opening your hearts to one another. Not your closed hearts towards each other, but you're just opening to your chest, to the back. Yeah, you can bring yourselves back up. And then you're going to have to come in a little bit closer this time because you're going to place your hands on each other's shoulders. So one person's hands can be on the inside, the other person's can be on the outside because we're going to switch so both of you get the same type of engagement. It's about stretch because it does determine whether you stretch more on the inside or kind of more on the external part of the shoulders. When you're ready, start to walk your hips back again and then just hinge your hips and come forward. We'll hold for 5, and 5. Come back up and switch. So I'll take my hands on the outside, or you just go on the opposite that you were last time. The same idea, you can just walk your feet back, let your heads come down. Let the breaths in and out. Start to slowly lift when you're ready. Perfect. Come back down. Now you're going to stand side to side to each other. So same kind of thing, but the stretch is going to be through the side of the body a little bit more. So take your outside arms, actually your inside arms, put it on your partner's hip, okay? Lift up the outside arms and reach around and grab onto your hands. Now you can interlace the fingers, you can just grab onto each other's palms, whatever you choose. But then push the hip away. So you almost create that bend for your partner a little bit. Now, one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to have your chest pointed down towards the floor, okay? That's going to create a roundness in your spine. You want a curve, not a roundness. If there's any difference. But push into the hip. So lift up that chest. If it's okay in your neck to take your gaze through the tricep area again, you can. Great. Oh. Deep breath in and out. And this is going to help prep us up for our next one here. So bring those arms apart, okay? And then you're going to step your left feet together. My left foot, Samantha's right foot. And you're going to grab onto each other's hands or onto each other's wrist again. We're going to go into a warrior 2 position. So point your outside foot towards the front of the mat or wherever you're at. Start to bend through that front knee. Now, when you bend through that front knee, you have to walk that right foot forward because you want your arms to be straight. Now, you're tractioning each other's shoulders away from each other, okay? So use the other person's weight to pull those arms out. And if you want to reach that right hand out front, you can with the gaze over the fingertips. This is a trust exercise, because if they let you go, you're probably going to fall. Good. Hold here. And then from there, you kind of come up a little bit. You can keep that front knee bent, so you might have to straighten your leg depending on how far you go. Bring your hands down towards the center. Reach the right arm up. So you're like an exalted warrior here. And this is where it gets really cute. You're going to bring your hands down and see if you can interlace, grab on, and you make like a little heart shape. You can set your phones up after to create this for your post today. You have a really awkward look on your face and mine. Okay, come all the way back up. It's been hard on the heads. Reach out again. Yeah, and then come back up. Straighten the legs. Point your toes back to center. Okay, step in. Lift that outside leg up. Bring the foot on the inside edge of the leg that's still on the mat. We're going into a tree pose. So lift up your hands like you would in a tree, but bring your palms together. Now, we're only as strong as the person beside us. So if I fall, he wasn't about to fall, but thank you for doing that. But you're rooted, you're stronger, you're stronger together, okay? I have better balance when I'm holding onto her, and possibly vice versa. Now, trees also kind of move and sway, so you can also test that balance. Good. Beautiful. Okay, lower that foot all the way back down. We're gonna go to the other side, so you can just turn your backs or however you choose. You know where you're going, so you might not even need to use the screen, but we'll start by placing our hands onto each other's hips or just below the rib cage. Again, we're gonna stretch to the side. So I'm gonna lift up my left arm, she's gonna lift up her right arm. Reach around, either interlace the hands, the fingers. Start by opening the chest up towards the side of the room or the ceiling. And then again, just a gentle pressure as you straighten that right arm or the arm that's on the hip. Breathe. Slowly release. Come back up. And then grab onto each other's wrists again. We'll take our feet together. We'll go to that warrior two type posture. So point your toes out towards the front of the mat. Start to bend to that front knee and just use the other person. Again, you're traction each other's shoulders away. Left arm can come up. Start to bring that arm all the way up towards the ceiling. And you can straighten the front leg if you have to. Bring your hands down towards your feet and make that little heart as best as you can. All right, come all the way back up. Good. Step those feet all the way in. You're going to grab onto each other's hands again to start here, please. Arms straight. So this one's going to go. Huh? Oh, shit. Tree pose. That's why I have somebody else to remind me. Such as we all. All right, lift up those hands. Place those palms together. Again, you can use that person to just create that bit more balance, stability, and allow you to feel more rooted. Good. All right, lower back down. Okay, now we're going to come into our next one. So you can face each other again. You're going to grab onto each other's hands, each other's wrists. I'm going to lift up my right leg. I'm going to cross over top of my left knee. Okay? Samantha's going to be my anchor. So she's just going to bend her knees a little bit and keep her hips back and is not going to hopefully let me fall or drop me, okay? Now you're going to use that person though to sink your hips all the way back and kind of get the best stretch that you can through that outer hip. So I'll start with my right. Keep your arms straight, okay? So you see how my arms are straight? She's got me there. I'm leaning back. And talk. If you want the person leaning back more, ask them to. If they're going too much, let them know. We'll come back up when we're ready. Lower the foot down, and then your partner is going to go, okay? So we're there with their right foot up first or whatever you choose, okay? Now hold on to their partner because they didn't let you go. Or if they did, maybe you want a little bit of revenge. And that's what's important about not letting your partner go. So you don't get into that revengeful situation, okay? Let's not ruin our Sundays. All right. Come all the way back up. Whew. Good. All right. Opposite leg now. Back. And again, I'm just sitting my hips back. My gaze can be down towards my foot or up. It's up to you. You want your hips to sit back as far as they can go. All right, we'll come back up. Again, the other partner will go. job. And you'll know when they had enough because they'll slowly come out of this. All right, now we're gonna do that same thing again, but we're gonna spice it up a little bit here, okay? This is almost like circus yoga, all right? So what you'll do is you'll grab onto each other's wrists again, but you're gonna do it with the same leg. So you're both gonna lift up your right knees. You'll cross your ankles over top of your left. Again, arms are straight. There you go. And then sink your hips down. Sink your hips down. See, you're using each other. Perfect. All right, we're not done here yet. You're gonna come all the way back up. Keep that knee lifted. Grab onto each other's right hand or your right wrist, okay? Keep that foot lifted. Now straighten it out, and your partner's gonna reach down and grab onto your ankle or your heel. Whew. Sit nice and tall here. Now, this is what I mean is why we're stronger together, okay? Because I couldn't do this without the help of her, all right? And she can maybe do this with the help of me because she's a lot more independent than I am. But check it out. Look how much stronger you are. Look how much stable you are, okay? You can actually move around a little bit. You almost try to make the person fall, but they can't because then you'll fall, see? Stronger together. Now, see if you can take the person's foot out to the side. This is where the circus tricks come in. Okay, you gotta lift the person up a little bit, not too high. All right, come in. There's no real pretty way to get out of it. Shake it out. High five, hug, do whatever you want. Fist bump. Opposite side, okay? When you're ready, let's cross our ankles over top of our knees. Lower down. Try to keep your arms straight. Again, sink your hips back, all right? You got to bend that knee. Come up when you're ready. There's no rush. We're going to grab onto each other's left hands or wrists this time. Straighten the legs. Lift it up nice and high. Breathe. And if you want, again, check that stability you have with each other. And then if you want to get fancy, you can take that foot out towards the side of the room. You don't have to go a lot. Come back in, lower down. Communication is important, okay? Give yourself a little bit of shake. We're going to start to come down onto the floor this time. So you can choose whoever wants to go down onto the floor first. You'll both get a chance. But Samantha's going to go down into a child's pose, okay? And this is just going to traction out our shoulders, all right? So if you have sensitive knees, please feel free to place something underneath them. I'm going to stand in front of Samantha. I'm going to take my left foot and I'm going to place it up by her right knee, okay? From there, I'm going to lift up my right heel and she's going to interlace her hands around the back of my heel. Now, depending on the mobility in your partner's shoulders, it'll determine how far you put that foot back. So she's got a hold of my right foot. I'm going to move it back just a little bit so she can straighten her arms. I'm going to leave my heel lifted. So you got to go back far enough that you can still keep your heel lifted, but not so far that you can't lower it without them, with still having the length in their arms, okay? So again, this is just a traction out the shoulders, traction out the arms, lengthens through the spine a little bit too. I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to place them down onto her hips. Now I'm going to give slight pressure down towards your heels. You okay?
Yeah.
Good. Check in with your partner. Make sure this is all right. And from there, I'm going to slowly lower my heel, like so slowly. And you're really going to check in with the partner and make sure they're okay. Person on the floor, breathe. Breathe, 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 okay? This can be a big opening for some of us. I know it is for myself. So please, keep with that breath to allow that nervous system to know that you're still okay. All good?
Good.
Good. And again, just slight pressure down onto the hips. Maybe that heel slowly gets down towards the floor. And then whenever that person's ready, they'll just release their hands, okay? You're going to keep your hands on either side of their spine. You can position your right foot wherever you choose, okay? But this is really important. Don't press on the spine. You're going to slowly walk your hands up either side of the person's spine towards their head. And just give them a nice, gentle little massage here, okay? You're just applying slight pressure. Okay? Check back in with your partner, make sure they're all right. Now, probably the most important thing about this one is the better massage you give your partner, probably the better massage that they're going to give you as well, okay? So, and check back in. And when you're ready, stop. The partner will come all the way back up. And then we'll switch, okay? So now the other person will come down. Again, you can start into a child's pose. If you have, if it bothers your knees to go in a child's pose, just keep your hips lifted up, all right? You can place a blanket, you can place something underneath the back of the knees to give that little bit of support, okay? It's completely up to you. Again, come down. Other sit partner's foot's going to come up towards the knees to give them that kind of stability and base. They'll lift their heel, you'll release the hands. They'll walk that foot back. Slight pressure down onto the hips. And person on the bottom, don't forget to breathe. And person on the bottom can release when they're ready. And lower your head down. All right, when you're ready, we have a couple more here that we're going to do. The person that's on the bottom, they can stay into that child's pose, okay? And I'm going to position myself a little forward here. So this is a nice restorative posture. Basically, the person's just going to lay over top of you, okay? So I'm going to go down into my child's pose again. Now, there's very little weight, so if you're bigger than your partner, you don't really have to worry about hurting them. I should say don't worry. Don't quote me on that, but communication, all right? The thing is there's very little weight coming down onto my back because most of it is traction my hips down onto the floor, all right? So I'm going to come down here into my child's pose. And Samantha's gonna place her sacrum just down by my sacrum, okay? It's almost where my hips are in the small of her back. And she's gonna lay over top of me. Her arms can come out to the side. Her feet, her knees can be bent with the soles of the feet down the floor, or she can straighten her legs out if she chooses. Arms can be wherever you choose, out to the side, wherever feels okay. And the person on the bottom, if you want, you can even grab onto your partner's hands or their arms. You can bring them out to the side, out open the chest. Or if you want, you can bring them over top of your head. You can stretch the arms out that way as well. And you don't have to. Communication. From the top. And to come out of this one, you just talk to your partner, make sure they're prepared. The person on the bottom is going to place their hands underneath their shoulders, and you're just going to start to lift your chest up. So you're going to bring that other person up. They're going to slide down onto their butt. You'll walk your hands in. You'll lift them. They'll stay seated. You're going to come up, and then you're going to come behind your partner, and you're going to start up towards their neck with the heel of the palm. And very gently just start to push down onto their shoulders, working the way out towards the arms, okay? Just nice little pressure. Again, as good a massage you give your partner, the better one or more likely better one you will receive from them, okay? Give or take thing there. So when you're ready, you're just going to switch. So now your partner, the opposite person will go down onto the floor. Again, you don't have to worry about again, as long as your sacrum is down by their tailbone, then there is very little weight that comes down onto the actual person, okay? It's more traction in the hips down. So if they do have sensitive knees, this might be a little bit more of an issue, but again, communication is everything here, please. Good. So the small of my back is going to be down onto her tailbone, and I'm just going to open up as I lay over top of it. Arms can be out to the side. You can take them overhead. This is good where you can activate the breath together again. So feel each other's breath pushing into each other. I'm going to come out of this. This one's going to help. It's going to push themselves back up, letting you lift. You can come down onto your butt. Push you all the way up. And then they'll come up behind you. Place your leg against their back again, just to give them a little bit of support. And starting with the heel of palms up by the neck. Push through outside. Communicate. All right, everybody. We got a couple more. We got one more exercise that we're going to do here. So this time you're going to come sit down back to back towards each other again. Okay. We might run a little bit over, but this is probably one of my most favorite ones. And it's nice to do at the end as well. Okay. So you can sit with your legs crossed, or you can keep one leg straight. So I'm going to cue this with my left knee first. So my right knee can come down in front of my left, or I can keep my right leg straight. If you have really tight hips, please feel free to place a bolster or anything underneath that left knee as well, okay? Samantha's going to do the same thing. So she's going to take her left knee out to the side, either legs crossed or right leg can be straight as well. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the opposite side of each other. So I'm going to go to her left side. She's going to come to my left side. And we're going to take our arms and bring them all the way over top of each other. From there, she's going to rest down into my lap. And I'm going to rest down into hers. Arms can be open. And just relax. If it's tight on that left hip, again, please feel free to straighten that leg a little bit too if you need to, whatever you need. Bring that little bit of support. Take deep breaths in and out and just relax into each other. You also place something underneath the head if you like, please. You are unable to get your head rested down. And this is a restorative part in the posture, so you can find a little bit of comfort, a little bit of relaxation. When you're ready, you kind of grab onto each other. You're almost going to pull each other up a little bit. You can push into your hands. Bring yourselves up. Take a moment before you switch over to the other side, all right? Back to back. Cross the legs or just bend the knee. Onto each other's side. Grab a hold of each other and start to lower back down. And if you want to place something underneath your head, if you got anything available, please feel free. Bring yourselves out of this when you're ready. Absolutely no rush. And we'll just come back to back again. You're going to place the back of your heads on each other's shoulders. So choose which side you're going to go to first. Ears be touching, maybe your cheeks be touching. And you're going to keep the heads together as you switch sides. So this is just a little neck exercise. Keep the heads together and go down either way. Just gentle motion, flow from side to side. And you'll bring your heads back through center. And just sit and take a moment to feel each other's breath. Feel each other's energy. To create that safe space inside of yourself so you're able to give that to others. We're going to say a little mantra to ourselves. You don't have to say it out loud. That little mantra is going to be, I'm enough, I'm loved, and I am worthy. So when you're ready, and then we're also going to give that to the other person as well, in silence. It's the true meaning of holding space. To give that power, that energy to another, because you're cultivating it inside of yourself as well. So again, when you're ready, you're going to say those 3 words, but you're going to say, you are enough, you are loved, and you are worthy. And keeping with your eyes closed, you're going to come all the way back around, and you're going to face each other again. And try to keep your eyes closed, please. And just like a mandala, you come full circle. Just notice, just feel, even just reflect. In class, in the morning, or even if there's anything else that might pop into your head. So one more time, I ask you to make a little heart with your hands and place it up by your chest. And when you think about something that you love about yourself, okay, and that can be anything at all, I'm kind, I'm loving, I'm adaptable. Maybe you got good style, maybe you like your style, how you dance. Anything that you choose. You're going to fill that little heart with your hands with those loving thoughts that you have for yourself. And you're also going to think about something that you love or that you respect or enjoy about the other person as well. And that can be anything at all. And you're going to feel that thought or thoughts inside your hands. And when you're ready, you keep your hands like this, and you're just going to open your eyes. Throw those thoughts in the air and sprinkle them down all upon you. I'm just kidding. You don't got to do that. Give your friend a handshake, a high five, an elbow bump, or even bring it in and give them a hug. It's the day to love. Every day is to love. thank you so much. We absolutely love doing this. We absolutely enjoy doing this so much. So thank you all for hopping on here, for playing along. We truly appreciate every single one of you out there. Question and comments are always welcome. Please feel free. We're going to record this, so once I figure out how to upload it to YouTube, I'll send you the link and you can practice this stuff at home. It is copyrighted, not for resale. Have an excellent day, everyone, okay? Thanks so much from all of us, myself, Samantha. Have a wonderful day and happy Valentine's Day. Bye for now. Hacia mi boca, un cabeza con sus frutas, de palabras